Do you want to know more about one of the most memorable icons in music history? Discover the incredible trajectory of Robert Nesta Marley, born on February 6, 1945, in 9 Miles, St. Jamaica, and who unfortunately left us on May 11, 1981, a victim of cancer, in Miami. His legacy goes beyond music. He was much more than an international star. He was a symbol of overcoming and struggle. Don't miss the opportunity to be inspired by Bob Marley's story and discover how you too can make a difference in the world. Sign up to our channel and continue following this journey of courage, determination, and hope. Subscribe now for more inspiring stories. Click the subscribe button and join us on this incredible journey. Baba showed that each of us has the power to change the world. Join us and be part of this change. His rise from poverty to worldwide fame inspired millions. Bob Marley was not just a musician, but a political activist who used his voice to represent the oppressed. Discover how he became a heroic figure to so many around the world. Follow this fascinating and exciting story until the end. Imagine a story marked by love, courage, and adversity. Adela, a young inhabitant of the quiet rural parish, found herself involved in a clandestine romance with the local overseer of the Crown Lands, Captain Marley. To legitimize the birth of their son, the impromptu wedding took place. However, shortly after the ceremony, Captain Marley left to take up a position in Kingston, leaving Adela and her son behind. Bob, Adela's son, found refuge in his grandfather's warm clan, where he stood out for his seriousness and even for his reputation for clairvoyance. At the age of 5, Bob's destiny took an unexpected turn. Adela, his mother, received a letter from her ex-husband, asking that the boy be sent to Kingston to attend school. Reluctantly, she agreed, and Bob set sail for the big city of Jamaica. However, upon arriving, Captain Marley, for unknown reasons, handed Bob over to an elderly invalid and abandoned him there. Thus, Bob found himself alone in the dark ghettos of Kingston, where life was a daily struggle for survival. This is the story of a boy who faced the harshest of adversities from an early age, a story of resilience and determination that echoes through time. After months of harrowing searching, Ella Marley finally located her son and brought him home to the county. However, before long, mother and son returned to Kingston, where Ella believed they had a better chance of changing their lives for the better. Bob had a close friend, Bunny Livingston, and Bunny's father, Thaddeus, who shared the same challenging reality. In Jamaican society at the time, opportunities for black people were scarce, and many young people saw violent crime as one of the few ways to get ahead. For Bob and Bunny, music was an outlet. Like many other young people, they dreamed of becoming music stars and spent their days composing and practicing songs, using improvised guitars made from sardine cans and electrical wires. In 1963, Bob's dream began to come true when he released his first single, Judge Not, and joined Bunny and another singer, Peter Tosh, to form the group known as the Wailers. With small club appearances and recordings, the Wailers soon became one of Jamaica's most popular groups. Initially known for their ska-style dance hits, the Wailers gradually added social commentary to their lyrics, becoming pioneers of reggae with its slower, heavier beat. Furthermore, the three men were influenced by Rastafarianism, a mystical philosophy that preached the divinity of Ethiopia's emperor, Haile Selassie, and the redemption of black people from oppression. This blend of music and spirituality became the core of the journey of Bob Marley and the Wailers, who not only enchanted the world with their music, but also became symbols of resistance and hope for many. For decades, Rastafarianism was marginalized as a religion for misfits and visionaries in Jamaica. However, in the 1960s, this philosophy gained traction as an alternative to violence in the ghettos. Rastafarianism offered dignity to sufferers and the hope of future relief, rejecting the standards imposed by the white world. Adherents wore their hair in dreadlocks, followed strict dietary rules, and abstained from alcohol and drugs, except for marijuana, considered a sacred herb that brought spiritual enlightenment. The Wailers, with their lyrical messages of peace, love, and racial reconciliation, calmed tensions in the ghettos while also awakening fear in the ruling class. Despite their acclaim in Jamaica, the Wailers saw little financial return from their initial recordings, as they were often misled by unscrupulous producers. In the early 1970s, Bob Marley sought a partnership with Chris Blackwell, a wealthy white businessman whose Island Records label was home to many rock stars. This partnership marked a pivotal point in the Wailers' career, opening doors to international success and allowing their powerful message to echo around the world. At that time, even though they were local stars, reggae was still considered slum music, unsophisticated and unable to attract non-Jamaican audiences. However, Chris Blackwell, a music enthusiast, recognized the Wailers' potential to popularize reggae internationally. He signed them and released their first album, Catch a Fire, promoting them like any other rock band in Britain and the United States. The turning point came with Eric Clapton's version of I Shot the Sheriff, a Marley composition from the Wailers' 1973 album. Clapton's rendition became a worldwide hit, introducing many of his fans to the Wailers' music. As their popularity grew, the group's original members drifted away. Bunny Livingston, now known as Bunny Wailer, was reluctant to leave Jamaica for long tours, and Peter Tosh resented Chris Blackwell for focusing more on Bob. In 1975, both pursued solo careers. Meanwhile, Bob Marley released Natty Dread, hailed as the pinnacle of his political expression by Rolling Stone. With each album, Marley seemed to go further in his quest for emotional impact, bearing his soul in such a raw way that it left listeners satiated and exhausted. Rastaman Vibration, released the following year, continued to captivate music enthusiasts, cementing his place as one of the most influential voices in music and politics. Marley, his wife Rita and manager Don Taylor faced gunfire that followed the attack, but even so, the concert went ahead as planned. In front of an audience of 80,000 people, Marley, despite being injured and unable to play his guitar, took the stage to begin a 90-minute set. At the end of his performance, he began a ritualistic dance, reenacting aspects of the near-fatal attack he had suffered. This searing image of resilience and triumph was the last the audience saw before the king of reggae disappeared back into the wings. After the event, Marley left the country in self-imposed exile, traveling across the United States, Europe, and Africa. His 1977 album Exodus was hailed as a mesmerizing high point, more accessible and melodic than ever before. While some saw the album as a celebration of life, others, such as Village Voice critic Roger Trilling, perceived an underlying personal melancholy, a reflection of the tribulations experienced by Marley during his self-exile. During this period, Marley suffered a foot injury during an informal football match, which turned out to be a sign of incipient cancer. Doctors recommended the amputation of his affected finger to contain the disease, a devastating blow for the musician and his fans. After his death on May 11, 1981, Marley received a state funeral in Jamaica, with more than 100,000 people in attendance. Prime Minister Edward Seaga remembered him as a native son, a dearly departed friend, a man with deep religious and political convictions who rose from poverty to become one of the most influential musical figures of the last 20 years, as praised by Timothy White in Rolling Stone. The news of his death caused an outpouring of grief and devastation not only in Jamaica, but across the world, demonstrating the global impact of his life and legacy.